presentation, and I'm delighted to have not just anyone joining us, but a Lean HE Global Impact Award winner joining us next. Justyna from Jagiellonian University in Krakow in Poland. Justyna, is Dobrochna joining you today, or is it just you?
We are two with Dr. Dobrochna Sztajerska.
Excellent. Well,
typical
listen,
Polish.
No, that's absolutely perfect. And I guess I should start with, first of all, an apology for my pronunciation, but I will try very hard not to offend with that said pronunciation. But I will, before you kick off, I will give a brief introduction to you both. So Justyna is a professor at Jagiellonian University, a researcher, lecturer, consultant, and facilitator. Head of the Department of Public Management, Head of Postgraduate Studies in Management and Higher Education, Head of Lean HE Poland Network, and member of the European Lean HE Steering Committee as well. Her research interests concern concepts and methods of improvement, evaluation of service quality, evaluation of management effectiveness and efficiency, as well as cultural and process maturity for implementing continuous improvement methods, and also an author of the Lean Culture Maturity Questionnaire. So welcome, Justyna. And Dobrochna is a researcher, lecturer, consultant and facilitator, director of the Institute of Economics and Security Sciences, quality management specialist, process improvement practitioner, psychologist, philologist, that's a new one for me, and both theorist and practitioner of management. Holds and actively apply a wide range of certificates and diplomas for the enhancement of various organisations, including an external auditor in quality and food safety management systems, as well as a Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. Her main areas of academic and professional interests are lean thinking, the psychology of human behaviour and its impact on functioning within the professional environment, conducting research and public scientific articles primarily in the fields of quality management, psychology and organisational studies. And in daily work manages the Institute, providing academic teaching and offering psychological counselling, thereby combining theory with practice. So I said it with Tammy earlier, and I'm going to say it again, we are in extremely safe hands with this session, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Thank you very much for this introduction. And in advance, I would like to say that I'm very sorry, but I have a problem with the internet. So I hope that I will not disappear during this presentation. But Dobrochna, will continue this presentation. So I hope that everything will be okay. So good morning, and thank you for allowing us to show and share with you the results of our recent research on digital waste and its impact on operational effectiveness in higher education institutions. And we want to show today the results of our research, which was done among the Polish employees of higher education. But before we start and before we will go to the body of our presentation, I would like to ask you to take a part in a short quiz related to the digital waste in higher education. Also, you can find the QR code, or you can find the link on the chat. And and we would like to ask you to take part in this quiz, and we would like to ask you for your perception on digitalization process in your university, what your thoughts and reflections are on this process and its effectiveness. Digital waste is defined in our research as a type of a lean waste resulting from the improper implementation of digitalization process and different IT systems and tools, also AI in higher education units. We want to ask you how digitalization has affected operational efficiency, equipment, work commitment, satisfaction, overload with daily duties, balance and mental health, and also sense of security at work. The last question is based on the NPS indicator and concerns your recommendation for your university where you work as a place free from digital waste. In the end of our presentation, we will show the results on this quiz and discuss them in the light of the results of this study done in Poland. Okay, so now I can go to the body of our presentation. I would like to start with outlining the main points we will cover. So firstly, I will give you a brief introduction to some kind of the theoretical background. Then I will move to the methodology, purpose and methods. And finally, Dobrochna will present the main findings, conclusions and the direction for the further research. So all we know that universities, and it's really very clear that universities are in the process of intensive digitalization. The concept of Industry 4.0 creates new opportunities, and it's expected to have a positive impact on operational indicators related to process and efficiency, workplace experience, and IT equipment and quality of IT solutions. Since 2012, we have found papers and case studies related to digital waste, a new category of waste resulting from the improper implementation of digitalization process. Current research links digitalization in higher education with concepts like smart university or Lean 4.0, but the phenomenon of digital waste remains unexplored. There is no clear classification nor understanding of its sources and impact on efficiency, especially in higher education institutions. Methodological gaps also persist, as users' behaviors and motivations are rarely studied. At the same time, managers lack practical guidelines to reduce digital waste. Our research seeks to fill these gaps and provide actionable insights for improving operational efficiency. So we decided to investigate something what can be called as a digitalization paradox and pose the following research question. How does digitalization in higher education contribute to digital waste, and examine its impact on key operational performance indicators? So in our research, we used different methods. We combined an integrative literature review with online questionnaire, and this questionnaire was designed on the basis of case studies and prior research. Because as you know, I work also as a Lean facilitator and consultant. I did different projects in higher education institutions, and it was one of the results, and concerns in this project that we have a lot of digital waste. This survey was conducted in 2025 among employees in Polish higher education institutions, and we have a huge feedback because the number of responses was over 1,200, and we used some statistical analysis and also the net promoter score to present, to analyze, and to present the results of our research. So I would like to ask Dobrochna to continue the presentation of our findings because she was responsible for this more statistical analysis. She is better than I in this area.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome from Poland. Yes, as Justyna said, I was responsible for the part of some statistical analysis, which is still in progress, but we have some preliminary results elaborated. If you could please, yeah, show us the first chart. Okay, there were many questions in the questionnaire, so we have just decided to show you some of them, maybe quite subjectively, but most interesting for us as researchers. And the first one is kind of terrifying, I believe, because, you know, as you can see, there are more than a half of the participants of the study did not take part in any digitalization training, which is for me quite difficult to understand because, you know, most of the times we have so many trainings of different type. Maybe they are not directed where they should be directed, but most people, while asked why they do not participate, indicated that there was no invitation, there weren't any opportunity to take part in the training. Some of them said that they hadn't have an appropriate amount of time to participate in any training, but mostly the answer was we didn't have any trainings because there weren't any in our institution, which is, in my opinion, quite difficult to understand. In a situation where you know, the world is mostly digitalized. So we asked how many systems do people use, and there were 17 to be chosen. So these results show that the most popular one is email, which is not surprising. But as you can see, the AI is on the 11th place, which is quite far away from the first one. And it is quite as well nowadays difficult to understand why the situation is such I would say, I wouldn't like to say difficult, but I would like to say that, you know, you have to, especially when you are a lecturer, a professor, or whatever title you have, it is quite important to understand the AI because, you know, we use it a lot. In my institute, we use it a lot. We have the paid version of the AI ChatGPT, which is quite important for us because, you know, we are a small university, so we use it we use it as a tool for many things we wouldn't be able to perform without it. So we use it as a tool for analyzing some researches, data, for preparing our papers, of course, limited in a limited way. We prepare it during we use it during the classes with our students, teaching them how to use it properly, how to benefit from the AI. As you can see, the level of using the tool is quite low, but maybe in time. Okay, and as you can see, the frequency of using digital tools is 2.14 out of 4. What does it mean? It means that we use quite an eclectic set of different systems. We use a little bit of this, a little bit of that. In Poland, of course, because the population we studied was a Polish university population. What does it mean? The first conclusion is that many people that manage the universities, they do not understand they do not understand the tools they use, because sometimes they are they provide you with the same possibilities, they give you the same functions, and we have so many consultants that tell you that this one is better than the other one because something is always beneficial or should be beneficial for you, and in the result you have several tools that give you in some way the same possibilities. So it's quite difficult for the workers, because especially for the administration, because they have to do sometimes twice, sometimes 3 times the same, because they have so many tools to be used. Okay, the next one. Okay, this is the assessment of level of digital waste at the university. As you can see, the people say it's average. So the level of the digital waste at their university is average, which is not bad, because mostly this is the Gaussian curve, so it's like average is something you would expect. But when you look at the NPS indicator, it gives you, in my opinion, much better introspection, because as you can see, it's minus 58. The range is from minus 100 to 100. When you receive like 5 to 15%, you can say, okay, it's not that bad, because most companies get to the level, but we've got minus 58, which is like a huge no for the in favor of the universities, because why the difference? Because here we have the level of digital waste is average. Here, when you are to recommend your university to your significant others, you say, no, I wouldn't throw anybody that means something good to me under the bus like that. Why? Because it's your reputation at stake. We are used to using too many tools, we are used to digital waste, and we always think, okay, it's the same at any university. But when you are to recommend your university to your significant others, it is connected with your responsibility for other people. So I believe the difference between those two results should be, I believe, different. It should be, like if you were honest with yourself, you would say, okay, it's not average, it's high, but it's something I'm used to. It's something I have to work with. I have no other choice, but I wouldn't like other people to work in a way I do as far as the digital waste is concerned. Okay, and the other thing is, or the other thing we ask for are is the operational efficiency. We ask whether people think, the digitalization gave them some higher digital efficiency. And what can you see in the in the, let's say, table, is that there is the lack of employee awareness about the impact of digitalization on efficiency, which is quite typical in Poland, because we do not have the indicators set, and we are not informed about it. Because in Poland, you know, it's more like the university is treated like something is sacred. It's not a business, which it is in the end, but you know, we see it as something more, something with a mission, with a vision, which should be something more than a business. So we do not establish any indicators, and if we establish any, they aren't communicated, because we think that you know, like the administration staff or the lecturers, they do not need any knowledge about them, which is of course not true. That is why they say, I don't know, I have no knowledge about any indicators. So as you can see, the category of process and efficiency is quite you know, ambiguous. We do not know. As far as the technology is concerned, and if it has improved, the answer was rather yes. It's obvious. You would like to use any new tools, any new systems, you have to have your technology on a level that gives you the opportunity to do it. So it's quite obvious you have to do it. As far as the workplace experience is concerned, the studied group said that the engagement increased, the job satisfaction increased, but the daily workload has decreased, and it did not decrease. So it's even higher than it was, and you can observe it in Polish universities. And the comfort in terms of balance and mental health did not improve as well, which is probably connected with the job overload. And it happens in Polish universities a lot. It's not only connected with some of the universities. And the job security, well, the people say that they are afraid. They are not afraid of being dismissed as a result of digitalization. Maybe because they do not see how it could replace them. So there is one thing I would like to say about the difference between administrative staff and lecturers as far as the Net Promoter Score is concerned. Only those two positions are significantly different from each other. So only the administrative staff can see how does the digitalization really overloads them, really impacts them. And the lecturers, they do not perceive the digitalization as being something difficult, as being something that touches them too much. Maybe because, you know, on the lowest level with people without any managerial position, it's a little bit easier. They do not use as many tools as, for example, the administrative staff on the lowest level uses on a daily basis, and they do not perceive the workload as difficult for them. Okay, and the findings connected to causes, types, and results of digital waste, in my, I believe they all indicates one thing, which is communication. Unclear communication, bad communication, low communication skills among the managerial staff, and I believe that's the reason why there are so many problems with digital waste as far as the Polish population, of course, the studied one is concerned. But, you know, as you can see, the time lost daily due to inefficient digital processes only is less than 30 minutes. Of course, multiplying it by the number of workers, multiplying it by the number of hours we spend at work, it would be a lot. But less than 30 minutes, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 25 minutes, we do not know that. But in most cases, there is some loss of time at work, which costs us all some stress, some bad moods, habits, and so on, I believe. But in my opinion, we do not see how much time we waste while using the digital processes in an inefficient way. Okay, and as far as the conclusions are concerned, the study highlights three main gaps, as Justyna indicated at the very beginning. First, there is this cognitive gap. While looking through the literature, I just came up with one existing waste, which is digital waste, which is the new digital waste, which was inappropriate use of computers and mobiles at work. So people play games, people do some shopping and so on. This was the only one I came up with. I found only this one, which is described in the literature on a broader mode. So there aren't many existing waste classifications, so digital classifications, so they must be revised to include the digital waste. Of course, it should be in our times, I believe, the dominant type of waste. Second, it's the methodological gap. We found that using the quantitative methods alone is totally insufficient for studying digital waste. We have so many questions to those people. Why, especially, something happens that you know, we have to make the methodology much more digital waste friendly. Because if you want to answer the questions why and go deeper and consider motivation and behaviors, we have to use more qualitative approach in our studies, for example, interviews. And the third one is the practical gap. So we found that effective digitalization in higher education requires much better, I would say, communication and embedding waste reduction practices into training, starting from the training of the administrative staff, because in our opinion it's quite important, because they are much more overloaded than other people. And for further research, we need to use qualitative studies to explore user behaviors along with international comparisons with, to broaden our understanding of digital waste, which is something we would very like to perform in the nearest future. Yeah, as you can see, fighting digital waste is something we have to do, because it's quite important not to leave it on its own, because you know it can consume you, it can overload you, and on the other hand, it can give you the opportunity to save some time, save some energy, and lower your stress level at work if you use it properly. So how to fight it? To perform proper analysis, to properly manage the processes, which is quite I would say, which is not very popular in Poland. We do not use the process approach at universities. At the universities as a systematic approach. Other solutions are lean tools, so the lean management, the process optimization, which is I would like to believe there is some of it in Polish universities, but it's like on an infant level. Or maybe in a newborn level, and of course proper change management, which is quite difficult for Polish managers in general, but we try to make it a little bit better, teaching our students how to properly manage the change. So we try to include it in our curriculums, as well as try to make it a social change in general.
Okay, so in the end, we can go to the sum of international comparison, and we would like to compare the results of the Polish study and international study done during this conference. So I will show the results of the research. Okay, and I hope that you can see these results. I will start from the beginning. So, Dobrochna, could you comment these results?
So, as far as the efficiency is concerned, and the question was if the digitalization affected positively the operational indicators in the university, which is quite interesting. 42% said yes, rather yes, 31%. So we have more than 70% in favor of the digitalization. So it's quite different than we showed you than the Polish results, which is quite well. It means that you can see the positives of the digitalization, which and the other thing is that you are informed about the KPIs, the key performing indicators, about the efficiency, which is quite promising. The second, it's quite, I believe, obvious, but not so much as it was in Poland. We believe in Poland that the IT equipment and technologies improved. Maybe because it's in Poland it wasn't. It was something. Maybe there was a greater gap. Yes, before and after. Maybe in your countries it's quite different, and you had your equipment in a better condition than we had it. Digitalization caused my engagement at work to, I believe, increase. Yes, rather yes, maybe rather no, only 15%. So, the engagement at work increased. So it's a good information. It's more or less the same as in Poland. The next one, job satisfaction. It's as well different than the results in Poland, because as you can see, most of you think that your satisfaction increased, like more 70%. Yes, so it's a lot. So it's like promising as well. Digitalization caused my daily workload to decrease. Okay, rather yes. There are no. There 10% thinks that it decreased. 26 thinks it rather decreased. So it's like the minority of you, 1/3, and other people think rather no. So it means that the digitalization, maybe because of the waste that comes with it, did not decrease. You can't see any huge positive change in this area. work comfort. Yes, 46, half of you, more or less. Yeah, not okay, because we have maybe, okay. So more or less half of you said that the digitalization cost your work comfort to improve. So I believe not so bad, but only 10% is sure. Some 1/3 is only rather convinced that it had happened. It had happened. So some area to improve as well. My sense of job security. Okay, so you are mostly not afraid of being dismissed after the digitalization. Only 26% thinks that maybe it may happen. So it's not that bad. More or less, more than 50%. So more than half of you thinks it won't happen. So it's a good thing to know. But as you can see, which always happens at the end, it's quite good. You think that you believe it's positive, it gave you so much opportunities, and then we've got the last one, and it happens for the third time that it's like it's a huge no. I wouldn't recommend my university, my to my significant others. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. Yes, so I'm not sure whether I have to discuss it, because I discussed it during discussing our Polish results, which was the same. There aren't many people because there are 19 of you, but it's enough to draw some conclusion for all of us. And I believe it's like, we are used to, we think we are in a better condition. We see the light, but at the end, it's not the light of the bright future, but the light of a train like Shinkansen coming to get us sooner or later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, both of you. That was absolutely fascinating, I have to say. And I was scribbling down some notes as you were chatting through it. I think it it links into so many other sessions that have been we've had during the course of the conference. And as I was listening, I was thinking about the Plan, Do, Check, Act model. And this, for me, in the sort of digitisation area, I think many universities will forget about the P, the C, and the A, and they'll just do the D bit. They'll just do. Yeah. And so it's things like, well, okay, we need to use AI. We need to buy lots of Copilot licenses. And I think, without thinking, okay, how are we going to use it? What are we going to use it for? What's the benefit of it? Is there a minimum competency that we need our people to have to be able to use it? And how are we going to do that? So what training are we going to provide to... so those are the sort of things that I would ask, but I think I get a sense is, there you go, off you go and use it. So you've got the... there's a massive gap between what the technology can do and what the capability or the competence levels are. Not for everyone, but I think it's a real issue. And I even think, certainly in my experience, there's lots of people, probably myself included, don't know how to use the full functionality of something like Microsoft Excel. And that's been around for years. And then when you start putting in these new things, the gap's only going to widen between the competency levels and the capability of the technology. So I think there's huge amounts of work to do in the change management piece. And Luke and Linda talked a lot about the change management stuff yesterday in one of the sessions. It's fundamental to this. We need to get that bit right. So I find your research fascinating, and I'm reassured to know it's only at the beginning. You're planning to do a lot more as well.
we want to continue this research and do some, international comparison. And I think that we both agree completely, with this, that universities, especially in Poland, are really very focused on this due stage in the PDCA cycle, because they believe that the IT and digitalization will solve all problems at the university. And I think that we are not ready, we are not prepared well for such change, because we have some chaotic, situation in our processes. The process approach wasn't implemented in many universities, so the universities really don't know how to manage their processes, and they want to use IT solutions, to solve all the problems with the processes. And I think that, the last picture was this cherry on the cake. So the IT solutions, in our opinion, should be like this cherry on the cake. It should be the last point, the last stage, to boost the efficiency of the processes. So maybe Dobrochna will tell more about this, because she's director of the institute.
Yeah, but we plan a lot because my education and my experience gave me the opportunity to use a lot, many tools. And I am also allowed, because I work at a small university, so we have much more freedom than you have, for example, at your university, which is easier for us. So we try to use all the cycle, but it's not so common in Polish universities, not so. I believe it must come with the future, but nowadays, you have to have the opportunity to work in a place like I do. So in a situation, beneficial situation like it, you will have the opportunity to use the full cycle. We do not have many tools, because we just do not have as much. We do not have money for it. It's as simple as that. So because of it, we have to use what we have. That is why we use ChatGPT, for example, as a tool for so many things. But we have just one, and it's easier, I believe, for us. Yeah. So that's my conclusion.
No, it's great, this session is obviously being recorded, so there's going to be, and it'll be going on to the Lean HE YouTube channel, the conference YouTube channel. So there's a potential for lots of people to see this presentation. So I guess if people are interested in connecting, are you encouraging them to get in touch with you both?
Sure.
Yes, of course.
And we look forward to hearing about the next part of your research findings, because this is similar to what we were saying at the end of Tammy's presentation. This is just the beginning. There is, this is the fast forward button is going to be pressed fairly quickly in all of this stuff. So it's going to be a fascinating few years ahead to see how all of this develops. Okay, we've not many questions in the chat, but there's one comment popped in. So from Graham, and he's saying we don't look at adoption in workforce management either. He's continually advising departments they need to have, a part of a person's role in the teams who specialise in things like Power Automate and Power Platforms. And that's certainly something that I've found as well. And what we're trying to do is, start to create user groups in the organisation of people who are proficient at Power Automate, proficient at Power BI, to tell their stories about how they're using it. And then it's almost like the peer-on-peer learning, where if I'm using it for student admissions, for example, in a faculty, and somebody in another faculty who has never used it before can make that connection. Can you help me do this in my faculty? So you're building capability up organically in that sense, which is one way of doing it, but there are many others. Anyway, listen, thank you very much indeed. It's absolute pleasure to see you both again. It's been a